I don't know how this isn't a trip story yet. It's probably because it feels like it was so intense that it like almost didn't happen. Like it was make believe. So it happened at Coachella 2014. It was supposed to be Outcast, Muse, and Arcade Fire as the headliners. I was really close to not going. And now that I look back, I probably shouldn't have gone. I mean, it was an amazing time. It was one of the best Coachellas ever, in a sense. But I was a piece of shit for going. Monica, my wife, was pregnant with our second daughter at the time, and I still forced myself to go to Coachella and leave her at home. It was a bad move. That's not what this video is about. But I think that might have had a lot to do with the way it turned out and how it was, because it was on my mind a lot of the weekend, and I was feeling real guilty about it. I even ended up making a video called "What Coachella 2014 Taught Me," because I learned a lot at this Coachella. Not just because of the mistake I made, but it was also because of the strong ass acid trip that I had. Probably one of the strongest acid trips that I've ever had. Probably a big reason why this was the last time that I've done acid. I haven't done acid since. It was so strong and it felt like such a huge experience that when I came back home, I felt like my daughter had grown since I last saw her. It was only like 4 days, but I feel like she had grown. Like she looked bigger. It being like one of those moments where you come home and everything was like home, but it's not, and it just feels different in a sense. Monica said when I walked in that I looked like I had a cloud of dirt around me because I was so fucking dirty. And I was. I hadn't showered since that Sunday morning. It was also one of the worst come downs that I've ever had, because not only was I coming down off acid, I took an ecstasy pill, which we'll get to, and I was drinking like a motherfucker. But like I said, it was one of the strongest acid trips that I had ever had. It was probably only the third or fourth time that I've ever actually taken 2 tabs within one trip. I remember for some reason I had it in my head that this Coachella I was gonna really fucking fry hard and go deep into the trip. So Friday and Saturday, I really don't even remember what I did. Sunday came around and that's when I really decided to just fucking trip balls. So Sunday around like 2:30, about 30 minutes or so before chant started, I decided to take my first tab. I was feeling good about it though. I was confident. I was, good mind state. I was ready for it. And I think had I just stood with that one tab, I would have remembered a lot more. Do I regret taking the second one? Probably not, because it was, such an eye opener. But it was fucking crazy. So we go inside. We're at the main stage, walking from the back. Got a really good view. And right as chant started, I started tripping pretty intensely. Is intensely a word? I was singing every single word to every single song because I knew every single word to every single song Chance had out at the time. I was ecstatic. I was in a great mind state. I was so happy. I have pictures here that you can see how happy I really was and how lit Chance the rapper was. This is the first time that I really realized how dope of a song Brain Cells is. I literally was getting emotional during that song, and it was just hitting so close to home, and it was just perfect. I really had not sang that loud in so long. So I'm having fun during the set, and something in me told me to take another one right then and there. I had just started feeling my first one, and for whatever reason, I felt like I needed that second one. I went to my cousin and told him, "Hey man, give me that second tab," and I took the second one right then and there. It's probably like an hour or so, or a little more after I took that first one. As he ended, I started to get really bad anxiety, and I started looking at the people around me, and I just knew that I couldn't be around anybody. I needed to be by myself. I'm glad that I did this because a lot of the worst moments that I had, obviously I cried, and we'll get to that, but I wasn't embarrassed by the crying. I probably could have been embarrassed and probably could have had a really bad experiences had from right now after Chance the Rapper until I started crying. If I was tripping during that time around people I knew, it could have probably been bad. I don't really know, but I'm glad that I went off by myself. So as he ended, the crowd kind of started walking to the back of the stage, and that's when everybody kind of dispersed. And I kind of purposefully walked out from my group and just allowed myself to get lost in the festival. I really don't remember much. I know I didn't go back to the campsite, but I really don't remember much up until like 2.5 hours later or so. The next thing that I really strongly remember was during Neutral Milk Hotel, which was about 2.5 hours later. But in that 2 hours or so, I do remember walking around the festival. Like I said, I didn't go back to the campsite. I remember really, really experiencing the art of Coachella for the first time ever. I remember walking around and really like tripping balls, talking to myself, not out loud, but in my head, just trying to look normal. Just walk around to different sets and experience them alone. I was just there. I was at Coachella. So eventually, I remember going to the outdoor stage and just sitting in the back. Sitting in Indian style, really just trying to meditate and to somehow come out of my trip because I knew it was time and that I needed to. Because over 2.5 hours alone tripping balls at a festival can cause you to go crazy. And I seen that then in that moment because I was trying to sit there and really just like calm myself down. And at this point, I had kind of come out of the really, really intense part, and I was kind of just going in and out of it now. I was sitting there meditating and something told me to look up, and I looked up, and out the corner of my eye, I seen all my friends walking from the back of the stage to the front. And the sun had started going down, and it was just crazy that I had seen them, and they were pretty far away, and something like guided me to them, it felt like. And when I saw them, I just like, I thought about just sitting there and watching them go. And then eventually I just got up, just walked real fast behind them. I didn't even yell out to them. I didn't even start running. I was just walking real fast behind them. They're going to be so excited when they see me. They're going to be so happy. Little did I know, I was the one who was going to be happy and ecstatic when I saw them, because that's what I needed. That whole walk behind them, like from like 20 feet behind them until I caught up with them. And then seeing everybody was just like so intense. It was as if like I was like came back to life almost. Like it was like I had just woken up from like a bad dream and a good dream and just any dream. It was just huge. It was crazy. And that's when I started to cry. I started to really like feel like I was lost forever. And I came home, which is weird because it was just my friends. I could have went to the campsite and found them then, but for whatever reason, the way it happened was just so beautiful to me. And I had Neutral Milk Hotel playing in the background the whole time too, which is a pretty intense type of music to listen to when you're tripping balls like I was. And it just all came together, and it was just like everything at once. It's almost like I wasn't crying from like a emotional, like a mental emotion type of cry. It was like I was just not physically able to hold all the energy that I was feeling at once. And it was like all that energy just got released through tears. And I was like laughing, and I was like so loud about it. And I was like, just like, I didn't give a fuck. Like I had a whole bunch of friends there, people I had just met that weekend, like people around us. And I was just like so ecstatic. And I had to really like sit there and just be like, wow, like it was just nuts. And it's such a dumbass thing to really, I found my friends after a bad acid trip. But it was still to this day one of the most intense experiences ever. Just to be able to physically cry like that in front of people and not give a fuck about it was just a huge, crazy thing to happen to anybody. It's funny because after I made this, I couldn't figure out why. Why did I cry? Yeah, it was a lot of emotion, but why? And after watching the video and sleeping on it, I realized it was because I wasn't home. I wasn't like where I needed to be. And even though, my friends, I love my friends, but they weren't my home either. But in that moment, it was the closest thing that I had to my actual home, being my family. So I feel like just having a taste of that and that being what I needed and what I need is what made me so emotional, is that I finally realized that I needed to go home. even though obviously my friends weren't home, they still reminded me of what home was for me. Yeah. I was eventually able to calm down. After a while, I kind of was like, okay, I need to stop now. We ended up staying at that stage for a couple hours, even after Neutral Milk Hotel ended. And we just kind of sat in a circle, which is really rare. We don't normally do that. And just kind of sat there. And it was really peaceful. It was cool. It was chill. During this time, we all kind of were just like smoking and chilling. And then a friend of mine sold me an ecstasy pill. And that's when things got great again. In a few different videos, I've said, you know, rolling after a really strong acid trip is one of the most beautiful things that can happen, because you still have a lot of the visual and mental effects of the acid, but you're also really, really feeling great about it. So it's to me one of my favorite things to do. The second I started taking that ecstasy pill, Lana Del Rey started, and I felt like it was like so fucking perfect. Like it was like she was like almost being sexual. I felt like she was on the same exact level that I was at. She had like fog and smoke everywhere, and the sun had like just gone down, and we were like right in the front because we were sitting there. It was really, 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 really cool. That was one of the most beautiful sets ever. And it's crazy. I haven't these videos always make me think about things that I haven't really thought about that intensely in a long time. And it's just like I've had so many different experiences and so many different beautiful things that have happened to me. And it's just really cool to be able to share that with you guys. And I hope you guys enjoy the videos as much as I enjoy making them. Yeah. That was really fun. So yeah, LSD can obviously be a beautiful thing, but you have to really be strong about it. It really flexed my mental muscle to be able to come out of that and be okay. And it being so intense is obviously a big reason why it's been so long since I've done acid. Even in that intense situation, it was still, you know, very fun. I still obviously came out okay. And, you know, being able to just express emotion like I did then was probably one of the best things that could have happened to me. It obviously changed me for the better. I'm not, you know, leaving my pregnant wife at home while I go to festivals and shit anymore. I just take her with me. So, you know, so I appreciate you guys so much for watching these videos. It's one of my favorite things to do. And, you know, I really don't get crazy amounts of views, but for those who do watch and you guys who do enjoy, I appreciate you guys. I ain't going nowhere. I don't give a shit if I get 1,000 views, 500 views, or 10,000 views in a video. It doesn't matter to me. Appreciate you guys so much. Smoke something, drink something. If you enjoyed the video, please, please, please click the like button. It helps out a lot. And if you are new here, I make videos every Wednesday. Please hit the subscribe button. I think you will really enjoy the videos. So yeah, if you're interested in watching more videos, you can click either the video to your left or the playlist to your right. Each one will get you some good content, and I think you'll enjoy it. Like I always say, smoke something, drink something, enjoy the rest of your day or night. I go by the name of Audible, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.